What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another post-game show where the Kings were embarrassed. This was what they call a first quarter special for the San Antonio Spurs because it was straight Kangs from beginning to end. And yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt more than I expected it to. Man, I'm excited to see what you guys are gonna say after this type of loss. I'm expecting quite a bit of complaints in the comment section. But yeah, here we go. Let's go ahead and dive on in. We're gonna look at the box score. I'll give you guys my takes on what's happened, and then obviously I want to hear from you. So let's just jump right on in. First things first, let's start off with the number one thing that happened in today's game. De'Aaron Fox finally had one of the best games of the season, at least statistically, right? He finishes with a season-high 37 points, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, on 14 of 24 shooting, which I believe is right around 58% from the field. Away from that, though, guys, this box score, look at all those minus signs. Oh, that's rough to look at. Let's start with Richaun Holmes. He only plays 19 minutes in this game. Chimezie Metu plays 21, so that just gives you a look at what was happening with Richaun Holmes. I don't know if he was in the doghouse or what, but yeah, a lot of these rebounds that he has, the 12 that he finished with, came in garbage time. But he does finish with 6 points, 12 rebounds, only two personal fouls. Like it's not like he was in foul trouble. He was just getting beat by Thad Young, I guess, and they just rolled with Alex Len, who only played 4 minutes less than him, with 15, and he finished with 8 points and 6 rebounds. Oh my goodness, this was again a garbage time game. Buddy Hield got the start tonight. He played 34 minutes, 12 points, and the one thing I saw with Buddy today that really made me a little irritated was he did not want to attack the rim. That was extremely frustrating to see, especially when you have a guy in Fox that knows that just needs to count on you in a game, again, with no Halliburton. You have no Terrence Davis. This is your start. Like, he needed him to do a little bit more. And when they took away the three-pointer, he didn't look to attack enough off the dribble, and obviously he attacks more off the dribble once his shot is falling. But tonight, the Spurs did not give him a chance. They were all over him as soon as he crossed half court. Harrison Barnes, he was also quiet. This was just a game of the others not doing much, right? Everyone away from De'Aaron Fox, and De'Aaron Fox, even with this great statistical line, came out slow, super slow. And I'm not 100% sure if the first quarter was the only reason why they lost this game, but it was it's honestly, man, it's the offense. We got a super chat from a Tanvir Etwal. If I pronounced your name wrong, I'm 100% sorry about that, but I appreciate your support with that super chat of 199. Do we fire Luke? Thoughts on this? Look, I've said this multiple times. I never like to come out and say this person should be fired. Now, with that said, I think the offense has been horrendous all season. I think there's been moments during this early season where we've seen the Kings look a little bit better on nights, but a majority of the time, I feel like this offense is completely one-dimensional. And I've been talking about this since I think game 2. And this is why I was worried about Fox's shooting. Is it seems as if defenses are sagging on the screens. So they are literally daring the Kings to shoot. Other than Buddy Hield and Barnes, and I put this in a tweet right after the game. Other than Buddy Hield and Barnes, look, we got the tweet coming up right here too. Away from Buddy Hield and Barnes and maybe Halliburton, the Kings lack shooting. 100% they lack shooting. With a one-dimensional offense and a franchise player in De'Aaron Fox, that's best offensive skill is moving downhill with the basketball. You need to support him with consistent outside shooting. We thought it would be Terrence Davis. We've seen how slow of a start he's gotten off to, and missing games like like he has tonight, I'm not 100% sure what else you can go to other than that they need help out on the perimeter. They need something more consistent. They need something to go along with Buddy and Davion Mitchell off that bench. And I really don't know what it is. And it's I want to hear from you guys. Again, we're going to be taking phone calls. I want to hear all you guys' thoughts. I thought the last time we did this, I thought this show was only going to be like 20 minutes long, and it turned out to be an hour because of all of your guys' phone calls. So feel free to come on in. I want to hear all of your guys' thoughts as we go ahead and jump into the comments section. If we want to go on the Instagram comment sections, we can do that as well, just to keep the conversation going here. One more thing, actually, before we do go to the comments section and start looking over everybody's. Number one, if you're going to hate on Fox, as much as a lot of people do, and criticize him for not being a scorer in all these other games, you have to also give praises in games, even though it is a loss, and everybody else didn't show up but him. But even though it was a loss, this was his best game statistically, and this is something that you're going to want to see from him, is someone that is able to turn it on the way that he did. He was able to keep this team in the game when they were down by 20 plus points after that horrendous first quarter. And yeah, you can blame the first quarter on Fox. I get that. And again, if you're going to criticize this man, you also have to give praise when he is actually playing up to this level. And hopefully this is something, again, a Rico Hines quote, something he can stack together. And I feel like he's starting to stack these games up. This was his best statistical game. And yeah, I want to see if he can continue on this and what he can do next to Tyrese Halliburton when he does come back. So that's number one. Number two is Chimezie Metu. I think he had a stellar game. We got to see him get first quarter minutes. He was a key role player in this game. And look, man, I'm ready for a shakeup. Obviously, the Mo Harkless thing, he had 0 points in the entire first half. Defensively, the entire Kings were getting beat, including Mo Harkless. His rebounding, he's nowhere. He's not even a helper on the rebounds. Like, he doesn't crash harder than anybody else on the court. Like, it may be time. And I even said this again. This was right after the game in a tweet. I said, can we just see what a Metu at the other forward spot looks like? I don't care if he's the early sub out. I don't care if he only gets a few minutes like a Terrence Davis did when he got the start. But we got to try something different at this point, right? The Kings have got to see something else. You can't just keep putting the same type of offense out there and expect a different result, right? And that's why I think Tanvir, who put in that super chat, and again, bro, we 100% appreciate that over here, asking if Luke can get fired. I think you're starting to hear that uproar a little bit, at least in the circles that I'm running in on Twitter and being able to read you guys, that, you know, Luke is a horrible coach. Luke is this, Luke is that. So I'm eager to see what you guys are all seeing. And man, don't got to do this solo. Javi, what's going on, my dude?
Can you guys see me? My camera's having some delay.
I see you, bro. I see you, bro.
How you doing, Vince?
Hey, man, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. I'm ready to.
Mm.
I'm hoping you're gonna come out with some positivity, even though the Kings did get kind of beat up today.
You look at the box score. Obviously, De'Aaron going for 33 is a big plus. It's a matter of the plus per se. I feel as if Kings fans, I won't say come back to reality, but we realize we do need to trade for that star piece. And I don't care what any Kings fans say. For one, Tyrese Halliburton is a vital part of this team. And when he doesn't play offensively, their half-court sets are lackluster or even less than that. I'd say less than above average, which you've seen tonight. Obviously, he's a great communicator on defense in the half-court with a team like San Antonio, who has a wizard coaching them in any half-court set offensively. And you see how bad they get lost in pick and roll, transition, just helping the helper. And it's concerning because not just the lack of being able to defend the perimeter. But Chrissy's on the coaching staff now, and the things that he would express in the broadcast to correct, whether it was rotation or consistently driving to the basket when they're not shooting the three point ball well. And now he's on staff. I know it's early, but man, they're still making them same mistakes. And I'm looking at their 3 point percentage. I believe at one point they were, I think, like seven for. I don't want to say 7 for 33, but I know they were shooting well below 30%. And they obviously need to see that these numbers until they need to consistently drive to the basket and try to get the two, and take shots from 18 feet and in. But consistently, you see Metu, Davion, Buddy, a little bit of De'Aaron just consistently trying to put up the three ball when they're shooting just lackluster, and it just comes to the point outside of De'Aaron, they don't have a scorer on the not even score. They don't have a player that can take them out of a hole. I mean, I love De'Aaron. I love Buddy's confidence, but again, you gonna live by the three, and you gonna die by the three, Buddy Hield, and that's okay. I can understand that. They shot 10 for 36, so 27.8%, and they made probably two or three threes at the end. So before that, like I said, they were 7 of 33. Like I said correctly in my previous statement about 35 seconds ago or so, and that's something that will never win in the NBA as any consistent franchise looks to move forward in the right direction. Right now we got the graphic up about Marvin Bagley. I mean, for all the Marvin Bagley fans who say he's not getting an opportunity, I mean, that says everything. I mean, he refused to go into the game in the second half against the Phoenix Suns. Whether it's true or not, the fact that this is being published, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I don't see why the Kings would want to make this up. Because then, honestly, if you have this out there, I don't know if it affects the trade value, but it doesn't help it. And Vince, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. I'm
Yeah,
just letting you go, man. I'm just letting you
oh
go.
yeah, I just again, I'm gonna say this until he's traded. I'm finding a way to get Ben Simmons on this roster because we lost. It's our worst defensive outing of the season. Gave up 100 and it was 136, 117, 136 points, 19-point loss. I just feel like he'll fix things defensively. We have no problem scoring the basketball. But defensively, we get lost. And when somebody needs to say, hey, man, you need to come switch up our attack defensively with our schematic play design. We need to make adjustments defensively. We need to shift, help the helper, rotate on the perimeter. Most importantly, we need to have a sense of not just playing well in the interior defensively and not let, players run free to the cup. But it's almost a good thing. Well, let's not say it's a good thing, but he doesn't want to shoot the three ball. And I don't know why the Kings get real 3-point heavy and real 3-point happy from time to time, but take advantage of them not having their, Jakob Poeltl, their best interior defender, available for the game and attack the cup. De'Aaron was going in there at will. Anytime he went in the interior, he was getting a layup. He was getting two, easy bucket, easy bucket, easy bucket. And for some reason, they want to consistently just, all right, checking up a three. They're 27.8% tonight. Besides the last 3-point opportunities, the 3-point opportunities in the fourth quarter, in the last 3 to 5 minutes of the game, they were 7 for 33, dog. That's horrible. I'll never get it done in the NBA. Any person that has any rational sense of any NBA acumen, any basketball acumen for that matter, will tell you that is not going to get it done in this league, dude. And again, Monty McNair is doing with what he has in regards to, the configuration of his roster. You look at things, they're trying to get Kuzma and Harrell for Buddy Hield. I think they would help in this defensive, liability that they have. When they don't have a lights out game from everybody defensively, this is the result you get. And when they do play lights out, I mean, they play well. You see, in 10 games they're 5-5. They played well in I think 8 of those 10 games, and they went 500. But when they don't have Sacramento's curse, relax. But anyway, when they don't have anybody consistently playing well defensively, is what you see, is what you get, because they don't have no true defensive stalwart outside of Davion. I mean, Harrison I think is a plus defender, but I mean a true defensive stalwart outside of Davion and maybe Rashawn, I don't see it. But Ben Simmons is something you need. We can keep scoring and having all these 3-point shooters who, live by three, die by three, all these offensive, stalwarts that can put up 120 plus points a night. But until we get that defensive ace, this is what we're going to get. I mean, you can't win the NBA if you don't play defense. And Don't
I
compare
really
the
don't even feel like
Warriors.
their offense is really that good, anyways, to be shooting that many threes. And I was talking about that in the beginning of the show, right before you got on. It's away from Buddy and Barnes. I don't really trust anybody on this Kings when they take a 3-point shot. I've been noticing it with, especially it was the most obvious against this Spurs team when they were running that shell defense, that shell zone on them, that shell 2-3 zone, where like it looks like you're playing man, but it forms out to be a 2-3 zone, where every time they did a pick and roll, because that is the only half court set the Kings know how to use, is a pick and roll and wait till someone throws them the ball. They sag, so it takes away the roller, and they're going to test guys like Fox, Halliburton. They're the only person they're not going to test to take that 3-point shot is Buddy Hield, and you saw that again tonight too, because as soon as he crossed half court, they were all over him. The only time Buddy actually looked good offensively is when he did the give and go, where he gave up the ball either to an Alex Leonard Holmes and charged to the basket. I want to see him attack the rim. If they're going to push on you so far, you got to try and beat that a little bit off the dribble. I know he's not the greatest on-ball dribbler, but Fox needed help tonight from somebody, and it didn't come from anyone. It was literally just him. He's the only reason why I kept watching this game. Number 5 versus number 5 was my favorite part of the whole game, and it was rough. It was rough for sure. I do agree they need defense. What are your thoughts on Metu's play, Javi? Before we jump on into, I was gonna jump into the comments right before I saw you came in. So, what were your thoughts on Metu, and what are your thoughts on the idea that I suggest, which is the Kings need to shake something up? Why not see Metu at that other forward spot away from Harkless, who didn't have a single point in that first half? Oh, Leo, what up, boy? I see you,
What's up,
man.
y'all? How y'all doing?
Oh,
So, my
chilling,
brother,
man,
man,
chilling.
how's it out there in Southern California?
Oh man, you know what's fun? Just wanted to jump on here and say what's up to everybody. Got love for you too. Keep doing your thing. I'm just here monitoring comments, putting graphics up for y'all, and about to post a different video on the channel. But just wanted to pop on here real quick, show love, and yeah, the Kings ain't so good right now, man. Disappointing for sure.
Need one
Yeah,
of
what
them
was your
hats,
biggest
brother.
takeaway?
Hey, I put the order in, just waiting for some feedback before I start taking some money, man. You know what I'm saying?
I hope I can
Biggest
get
takeaway
a.
from today's game, Leo?
Yeah, let me hear it.
I didn't watch a single second.
You
Thank
got
God
lucky
I
Likewise.
then.
didn't.
You got lucky then, man.
Yeah, man, we
Yeah, it was.
had a 14-hour day today on set. We got one more day, and then the editing process starts. Gonna put the vision together, and the show will get streamed on Amazon Prime, Bloomberg TV, potentially Apple TV. So I'm excited, man. It's been a hell of a just experience directing it and directing these super Shark Tank type guys, personalities, and just being in this type of team environment, man. But it's been a hell of an experience, and I hope to apply it here so our production can get better overall and just our overall content to have a clearer vision as a leader uh, of this team. And I just got to be better, man. But yeah, I think I'm going to learn a lot of things to apply it so we can be better as a team overall. But I'm excited for you guys, man. So keep doing your thing. Let's run this for about 10 more minutes. I'll put the link in the chat for anyone who wants to join, but go ahead, Vince, and monitor everything. Do your thing and just, take some quick comments from some people and just end it real quick because I'm trying to, got to do it all over again tomorrow. It's the last day. I got to finish strong. Got to wake up like at 5, so it's all good, though. Got love for you too,
5
man.
a.m.
Every
Appreciate it. I
day,
love for you,
bro.
dog.
Every day.
Sacramento
Congrats
proud.
to
Wear
you,
that
bro.
hat. You feel me? Rock
All
that
right.
hat, man.
All right, y'all. Y'all
All
back
right, bro.
on.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, Javi. Let's go ahead and let's go down these comments. I was gonna ask you about the Metu becoming a starter. Maybe that's
Let
a
me let me let
conversation.
me let me make sure I got two comments to that. Well, one for that, one more thing.
Okay.
Metu had opportunity to show tonight. I won't say his worth, but again, he consistently wanted to chuck up the three ball, and he missed consistently, time after time after time. Use your athleticism, use your skill set. Most importantly, use the free lane they're giving you without having Jakob Pertl there, and drive to the cup. You are a 6'10", 6'11" power forward. Go to the bucket. I don't see how
Do you trust
that's
him as
like,
a dribbler to do that from the outside?
okay, well then move the ball around and slash to the basket. What I'm saying
They're
is,
sagging on
don't.
him.
Okay, but again, then move the ball around and swing it, but don't consistently shoot three when you're having that type of off night. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's consistently shooting the ball from the perimeter. He's missing time after time from the 3-point line. Number two, Mo Harkless, good team glue guy. Can't have a starting forward at the power forward position be Mo Harkless, in my opinion, and win 41 plus games. He's had several outings where he's horrible defensively. I know he's a good glue guy. I think he's the best option as regards to having a affordable 6th, 7th, 8th man off the bench playing that 3-4 combo. But having him be our starting power forward right now, I feel like it's a liability. Not defensively in every aspect, but offensively, he just, he's either really on or he's really bad offensively. And defensively, I think he's plus or minus. It's a pick 'em. But I want to make sure fans heard that before we went to the comment section because, again, Metu needs to make the most of his opportunities more often than not offensively. Get to the basket whether they're sagging on him or not or whatever it may be. Drive to the cup. Make something happen in the basket because you're not shooting the ball well from the perimeter. Harkless has to be a conversation in regards to being corrected, a change, or something that needs to take place to fix that configuration in his forward position in the starting unit. And number three, first name Ben, last name Simmons. And that's what I got to say in regards to before we go to the comments.
Every time we do a show, it's always gonna be a Ben Simmons conversation.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be hard. I mean, games like this, and especially the last one is gonna be. I mean, the offer that the Kings would have to give up is gonna have to be something better than Buddy Bagley and 3 firsts right now. That's the only one we know that's
why?
there.
They have no offers. They have no offers for Buddy, or they have no offers for Bentley. Rather, they have no offers for Ben Simmons. Nobody wants to offer them what they're
offer.
thinking.
But the offer that I'm saying right now has been reportedly already offered to the Sixers, and it's a no. So you just keep calling them over and over.
You don't have to keep calling because you're going to call their bluff because eventually the Sixers are like, man, we're not getting McCollum for him. We're not going to get Jason Tatum or not Jason Tatum. We're not going to get Jalen Green for him or Jaylen Brown rather from the Celtics. We're not going to get anything in regards to, we want to go ahead and get another star. It's not going to happen. Oh, we got a guest. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Buddha?
What's up, fam? What's good with y'all?
Is that Buddha?
Hanging, man. That's Buddha, man. What's going on, buddy?
Man?
Hey, I'm Javier, man. Pleasure to meet you. Appreciate your comments in the comment section before. We never actually got to speak face to face or obviously on the live stream before, man. Nice to meet you.
Word. No, matter of fact, I did. I talked to you last season for one time.
On the phone?
I ain't make a great impression, bro, I guess.
You was on the phone though, I think, right?
Nah, bro.
Nah, we did the video chat, but it's cool though.
Oh, my bad. My apologies.
That's all love, bro. That's all love, bro. I got
Thoughts
my
on the
chef
game,
head.
Buddha?
My boy Fox was cooking tonight, man.
Okay.
Oh, he got the hat on. Look at him.
Every time Fox cook, we'll throw a chef hat on, man.
Okay. Overall thoughts on the game, though?
Man, we need Tyrese back ASAP. Please come back ASAP.
It's his lower back, right?
I'm not really for sure, but I definitely see him in his back.
His wrist?
That was his wrist. It's been taped up since game 1. I think it's in his wrist. I can look it up though. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but I think we mostly need him back so Buddy can go on the bench because I feel like Buddy's best coming off the bench. Like he don't gotta play hard, heavy defense. He ain't gotta guard Murray and stuff like that. Like, cause Buddy, he's a great shooter, but I feel like he need to just come off the bench. Like Alex Lynn, he be setting good screens for him and stuff like that. So I feel like he's more effective off the bench, to be honest.
Lower back tightness is what.
Back injury, like I thought, lower back tightness. So, he's probably having some back spasms, whatever it may be. But we need a wing ASAP.
Yeah, man. I think Halliburton is definitely going to be a guy that's needed right now. Another person that can orchestrate the offense when Fox, like he started tonight. He did start cooking, but that first quarter, they needed that point guard to push the pace a little bit, and I feel like they started off a little too slow. And that was my only real criticism for Fox was in that first quarter when things were going heavy on him. He didn't change the pace of the game. He didn't push the ball, and it felt to me the team was looking toward him to do something, and it just didn't click until that second quarter, that third quarter, and then he finally started getting cooking, but no one else was there in the kitchen with him. He was cooking by himself. So that's the only thing I saw. But
but yeah, bro. Only thing I can say is We just gotta get back to the defense because I don't know what that was. At the end of the third quarter, it was 104 on the like. Come on, man, you can't put up 104 in the third. You do that at the end of a game. You have 104 at the end of a game. You can't do that at the end of the third. And we gotta
We
get
was
back to
watching,
playing
yeah.
defense.
You was watching the 2017-2020 Sacramento Kings in the NBA. That's how they played defensively the last 3-4 seasons. And the emphasis this year was, to get Lynn, Tristan Thompson, re-sign Harkless and Terrence Davis. But again, those are complementary pieces. You know what I mean, Buddha? Like, they need the defensive stalwart to change the overall perception of totality of our defensive scheme to put us in the position of where we want to see the Kings be, not 5-7, but rather an 8-4 team. Until we have a move, like people are saying, well, the Kings aren't going to get Ben Simmons for Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley. Well, tell me why not? Because they're not getting what they think in regards to a CJ McCollum or a Jaylen Brown or a Damian Lillard, or we can go on and on and on. You call their
biggest why
bluff.
not
They're
is he's
winning
under
without him, and they
contract.
got complementary pieces. Huh?
The biggest reason why is because they get to fine him and he's under contract. That's the biggest
And
reason
you know
why.
what?
You can keep calling that bluff.
And they're not getting nowhere with that. They can sit there and
And they're
find him
still
left
winning
and right
games.
each minute.
They're still winning
Again,
games.
they're wasting his roster spot. Whether you want to say they're not, at the end of the day, eventually you're going to say, you know what, why are we going to find this man to not play because he doesn't want to report here, and we're going to waste a roster spot when we know we could add a depth piece, we can add a position that can be our future 4 or 5, when we know Embiid has, 3 seasons left in his prime? When Buddy Hield can consistently help from the perimeter as their go-to three-point shooter and space the floor, Marvin Bagley can develop with no rush, and say, hey, Embiid, you watch him. You'll play the backup 4 or 5, and you get 3 first-round picks. Ben Simmons is not even playing for them. You can sit there and say, well, they'll find him. Then what are we going to do? We're just going to not have him get anywhere in the NBA. And with the Sixers, just like, all right.
They're calling his
wait for
bluff,
what?
and they're gonna wait.
What are
They're gonna wait to. They're gonna wait to see if Damian Lillard.
What if he heads up the whole year?
Guess what? He's out $14 million.
And guess what? They're not getting a championship, and they're not winning a championship, and they're not winning a championship.
I don't think they should waste Embiid's prime for real. And plus, the way Buddy was playing, it was like he would work well with Embiid and them. Like,
oh, he definitely would. It's just.
But think about it. They get pieces like Buddy and Marvin. They have a serious chance of competing to win the Eastern Conference. I don't know about the NBA Finals, but they got a serious chance to win the East. And that's having Ben Simmons not play with nothing to show for does not help them increase their odds.
Them winning games and making the playoffs. Them making the playoffs or being able to keep winning games without Ben Simmons allows them to call Ben Simmons bluff before you have to wait to see if they're really bluffing on waiting out. Because at some point, the NBA is going to agree with the Sixers and start saying that you don't have to pay his salary because he's not showing up for work. And that's why there's the Player Association. But there's a good feeling that he is going to be coming back. I've been reading a lot of The Athletic, and there's a growing feeling now that he is starting to talk to the Sixers mental physicians or whatever, because he says he's not mentally strong enough to come out on the court yet, and he's talking with therapists that the Sixers are recommending that they are, and he's been at practice, which came from Woj, that he has been at the facility working out. They're starting to feel positives about it now that he's starting to work with them. And if those types of positive news comes out, again, that's leaning more bonuses to the Sixers and waiting for them to call on Simmons' bluff of you're not going to show up and you're going to take out all that money.
Understood. Again, if he's going to do all that, then I still think he's not going to budge. In regards to not saying per se, not reporting, but I'm saying even if he does report, that helps everybody in regards to making this happen. Just because he reports doesn't mean he want to be a Sixer. It means he's probably like, yeah, hey, I'm tired of losing this paycheck. I don't want to keep losing money. But it doesn't mean he's like, yeah, I might play per se, but I'm just trying to make sure I can get up out of here. Like, and again, if you want to have a team that's going to have a full-fledged way to get to the NBA Finals, it can't have a player that's half in and half out. No matter how good he is, if his heart in it, why would you want to go like that on your roster? But again, what do I know, man? I'm a football player, and from collegiate level, I just feel like it helps both sides. Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley and the picks help them, and we hit the defensive stalwarts we need. Name another defensive player out there in the NBA right now that could potentially come to the Kings through transaction, through acquisition, through trade, per se, that could really be acquired at this time to help us change the defensive fortitude of this team. I can name some players offensively that we could acquire, but no defensively.
Defensively, there's guys like, and I see Gohan took the person I was going to say. There's Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is the defensive player.
What would they want for Cam Reddish, though? What would they want for Cam Reddish? They're going to want Davion Mitchell. They're not going to want Buddy Hield's contract.
I don't know if they can really do that. I mean, because they don't have really much that they can leverage over Cam because they're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay all these other guys during the offseason. So that's what makes Reddish so available to all of them. So or to everybody in the market. Cam is basically playing for a contract right now. He can probably be acquired for some Terrence Davis in a second. Honestly, like I really believe that they probably would want more, but I'm just throwing that out there. I definitely believe Cam Reddish is going to be available. Let's go ahead and go down
Hey,
these
definitely
chats,
pull
bro.
that deal if you can get it, because
The
that's
one
a
deal that
sweet deal.
I like the deal that Leo put up not that long ago to get Jeremy Grant because man, he continues to develop. He continues to blow me away. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Grant. You know what I mean?
But what
Booty,
do
you
you
want
give
to
up
stick
for
around
that
for some
though?
of these comments? Leo
Yeah,
would have to throw up that graphic. Leo would have to throw up that graphic, and we'd all be able to see it. But let me go ahead and jump in these comments, man. Let me see if we can get through some of these because you guys are all in there commenting. We haven't read any yet, and I definitely want to get to some before the end of the show. So let's see. Where did I last leave off before we get anywhere? So, yep, Fox looked amazing. They need to play defense. Ridiculous 104 by the end of the third. Oh, that was you. Yeah, ridiculous that they were there. All right, Buddha, freaking 104 by the end of the third quarter. David Hagler says, yeah, the offense was poor, but I think the major issue tonight was their defense. I mean, yeah, they gave up so many open touches. Here's the
Here you
trade
go,
right
the
here. It
Jeremy
would be
Grant
Tristan
trade.
Thompson, Marvin Bagley, and 2 firsts for Jeremy Grant. I don't even think you need to
2
give up
firsts.
two. I think you'd only need to give up 1. I don't think you need to give up 1. The Pistons are in complete rebuild mode. Jeremy Grant's
nah,
too good to be on that
bro.
team.
They definitely gonna want that other pick for because Trisha Thompson and Marvin Bagley, that's basically not really nothing to be honest.
Oh, I didn't notice this
At this
though,
2
but that
point.
expiring
second pick that's
contracts
in
though,
there is
dog.
top 10 protected. It does
But
show that it's top 10
those are 2
protected.
expiring contracts, so that's why they would want to consider doing that because they get the Jeremy Grant contract off the books because he'd be coming to us. Tristan Thompson coming off the books at the end of this year. Marvin Bagley will be a restricted. They can just obviously not match or extend a qualifying offer to him. Then they get the extra first round pick. They're just getting rid of Jeremy Grant's salary. So I think they would definitely
But why
accept
would
that
you
deal
want to do that
because
if you Detroit? If you got it,
because they
because
don't
Jeremy
want to
Grant
have the
is really
salary.
ball.
They're trying to dump salary. They want to get picks and they want to just get dump money. Unless they're trying to keep Jeremy Grant for the long term. Is that what you see? Jeremy Grant is one of their future
He's young
plans and
enough.
parts of
He's
their
like
future.
what, 28 or something like that.
Yeah,
28? They're looking to find
he
22-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 23-year-olds,
he's
We don't need that
27.
27.
though.
He's a Leo chimes in. He's 27. Yeah, it's he's a really good basketball player. I just think at this point of their team, it's just about acquiring assets. And with Jeremy Grant only having 2 years left, obviously the Pistons are still in rebuilding mode. He is 27. He's finally reached his peak in terms of talent. And honestly, I don't even know if it's really his peak because he's still getting better as a rebounder and a defender. If you can get this guy for 2 years in Sacramento, I don't think you need that second first round pick. I think if they can get a first round pick with the name Kings next to that first round pick, they would definitely 100% do that deal with Bagley, Thompson, and just 1 pick. You don't need to add the second top 10 protected. You know what
Jeremy
I mean?
Grant helped
And
us
Bro, I
mightily in
think
the
you get more
he's
protected,
that
man.
starting forward that the Kings would love to have next to Harrison Barnes.
Yes,
Bro, you
he'd
can
be
get
the
more
missing
for
piece
Grant.
in the
I'm
starting
telling you.
lineup and put Mo Harkless back on the bench. That would be a great piece and a great addition for us to have Jeremy Grant part of the starting unit and just go ahead and get rid of, for one, the Marvin Bagley denominator. We'll just use that for lack of a better term, just to be nice. You know, Tristan Thompson was a good piece, but he's expiring. And the first round pick is something we got to do to get the piece we need to put ourselves in a position to make the final 8. If not, that at least at worst, at this time, to get in the top 10. Because again, we're missing that piece. And from Leo's perspective, Jeremy Grant is a defender we could mightily use to put us in a position to get out of these defensive lapses night in and night out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
he
Jeremy
also
Grant.
gives Barnes a give
I
a
ain't
break
saying
too.
don't get him, but I'm just saying I feel like if they wanted to flip him for something else, they could get way more than Marvin Bagley and Tristan Thompson. You feel me? At a trade deadline or something like that.
I'm just saying a Kings first round pick is very valuable. To say you have a Kings pick in the
With
first
Jeremy
round,
Grant?
no, to acquire Jeremy Grant, and
No, I'm
you
saying that pick. Is it going to be good when you get Jeremy Grant?
that's what
It's
they're
not.
gonna
Man
have to
said we
bet on.
can't
That's
get
what
him
they're gonna have to
without
bet
getting
on. But at the same time,
Halliburton. What
I
are
mean,
you talking
you
about, bro?
you also got to get you also have to think that they get Marvin Bagley, who is a young player that gets to potentially step right into that Jeremy Grant role, or they get to put in a guy like Josh Jackson, who's starting to look better for them, Trey Lyles, who's starting to look better for them, but they get that nice young building piece in Bagley to see if he has something, gives him a fresh start under a really good head coach, and obviously gets to play next to Cade. But let's continue down this rabbit hole here of comments, because they're starting to pile in. I keep getting an exclamation point of new comments here. Finally, Fox showed up. The Kings lack consistency, consistent shooting, consistent effort for 4 quarters. Barnes has been playing great ball, but everyone else hasn't played consistent. Okay, we are not getting enough production out of Harkless. I think it's time to start playing Metu more. Pain, all capital letters. Pain. That's all you wanted to say. 100%. This today was painful. Fox doesn't make teammates better around him. He's just a stat stuffer. He plays only for himself.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I don't know about all
Okay.
that. But happy Fox was on a roll, but Spurs were happy to trade baskets in a blowout. We also take a lot of bad shots that turn into bad defensive possessions, and no way to stop the bleeding. Super tough. I just really believe that the Kings half-court sets are one-dimensional, and I'll keep preaching that. I've been saying that since game 2. I think the Kings half-court offense is bad, and I still don't understand why. I remember when Luke Walton first got here, it was, we're going to play at the fastest pace the Kings have ever played. And I feel like this season, it's been the first 5 games or so, it was play in a half-court set, figure it out, defense is going to be our main key. As of these last few games, it was, let's push the pace a little bit, and defensively is starting to fall off. And then these last 2 games, it's just been hitting a wall. It's hit a wall offensively, and it could just be obviously the Halliburton situation. Let's see.
Yeah, I feel like you got to
Fox.
find an identity and stick to it, because switching up identities every night, that's not productive basketball, if you ask me.
No, 100% agree. 100% agree. Scooby-Doo. I like the name, bro. Fox scored garbage points just like he did against the Sun. Game got close, and he couldn't close. Fox is good, but those points are garbage. I feel like Fox brought the Kings back, though. Like, you're wearing the hat for a reason. He brought this team back to within, as close as 10 points, 12 points, and you're saying he couldn't close. They started doubling down in the post and gave guys like Metu wide open shots, gave guys Harkless open shot. Harkless did his best Harrison Barnes impression in that third quarter for the 2 minutes that he was able to score. They had Ramsey scoring 7. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't find offense anywhere else. I can't put any real blame other than that first quarter on Fox. That's the only quarter I put a little bit on Fox, is he wasn't able to get that team going. Looks like we got a caller here, bro. Your camera's a little dark, but what's going on, man? What's your name?
Hey, it's the Australian guy. How are you?
What up, Australian?
What's up, brother?
Hey, how are you guys? I called last time, remember?
I do remember. How can I
Yes.
forget?
Yeah, guys, you know what the problem is with Bagley? You know what the problem is with Bagley? No one wants Marvin Bagley. That's the problem.
Right.
That's our
I
problem.
think
No one
somebody
wants
might
it.
want him, but I don't know.
No, man. I don't disagree. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, and we talked about it when that first press release came out, was you start hearing all the background noise of, hey, obviously the dad is one that most fans know about, was chirping a lot about, why isn't my son getting playing time? Then you get the press release thing. Now you have this situation going on with I declining to go into the game when asked upon when his number is called. I mean, that just puts a bad taste in people's mouths. It starts traveling along, just like how JaVale McGee said when Shaq kept calling him the Shaq and the Fool King. People just assumed he was a bad player. People are going to assume that he's going to carry a headache if he doesn't get minutes, and that could also, put weight onto his trade value. So you're probably not wrong.
And also with our roster construction, we just don't have wings. We need a wing. ASAP, urgent.
Yeah,
we
I think
need a
that should be
wing.
the problem.
I don't see where it's going to come from right now unless we make a trade. Like we just was talking about the Jeremy Grant trade. Yeah, I really
like that Cam
don't
Reddish
see where
idea.
it's going to come from. Ben Simmons, I don't think that's really going to happen, because Daryl
Why?
Morey, he's in his ways. He's in his ways right now, and he's not
Yeah,
trying to
I
pull the
agree
trigger.
with Buddha.
He's a difference maker. I feel like Buddy's a difference maker. He was
Yeah.
He was leading the league in 3-pointers before the other game, before last game. So like that sounds like a difference maker.
And
to me.
also,
So
And also with the Sixers, when they've got Seth Curry and Korkmaz, they don't need Buddy.
Yep. Korkmaz
What
is
do you mean
hitting.
they don't need
Yang is
Buddy?
hitting.
Buddy's a better 3-point shooter than all of them. What do you mean they don't need
Yeah,
Buddy Hield?
he is,
Yeah,
but Korkmaz is balling right now. He scored
Okay, but
like 27 points.
Okay. Hold on. No disrespect, sir. Korkmaz, Buddy Hield. You're talking about apples and oranges here. Like, I don't care how good Korkmaz played. Buddy Hield has the most 3-point shots made in NBA history out of any player in his first 4 seasons ever played in the NBA. In the totality of the league, he has the most made ever in any player's first 4 NBA seasons in the history of the league. The league.
Yeah, but
Not the
remember
Kings,
how
the league.
But I agree with Buddha because Daryl Morey, he wants too much. Just like Buddha said.
He's not going to get anything for him then. He's just going to sit there and just have him sit at his house and go talk to the mental physician and go to practice every now and again, collect his money and say, hey, I'll do what I need to, but I ain't trying to play. And if he does come play, he's going to say, I'm trying to play so I can raise my trade value to go. But no one's going to get – because why are the Sixers going to look and say, hey, we're going to have people trade us what we want when we know we have a budding star who does not want to play here, and you think somehow they're going to get a all-star back? What world are you living in? Name one, and this me and Leo talked about this way back when. Name one all-star caliber player that's been traded for another all-star. Name it. And I'll wait. Name it. Chris Webber from the Kings was traded for Kenny Thomas, Brian Skinner, and Corliss Williamson. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins was traded for Buddy Hield, a Tyreek Evans from 10 years after he got drafted, the guard that didn't get re-signed, and a first-round pick and a second-round pick. Galloway.
I could say Kyrie
Name a star.
I could say Kyrie for Kemba.
Kemba's not a star.
All-stars.
Kemba's not a star. Okay.
All
right. So the one time. So name another trade that star for star. And I'll wait.
Chris Webber, Rich Richmond.
That's not. Hey, that's a good one too. That's a good one too.
And what was Chris Webber traded for?
The Rock was a
bucket. The Kings were bad then, though. The Kings were bad with Mitch Richmond.
The Kings are bad.
Yeah, I know. I was a little kid. I was a little kid back then.
I don't even know if I was. What year was that? 93. What year was that? 93. It doesn't even matter.
96,
at the end
97.
of the day, it don't even matter. My point is this. The multitude of stars trade in the NBA when it makes any way of happening for a trade to happen with the all-star type player. The majority of the time, they're not traded for an all-star back. And that's just fact. It's not about 100% of the time, but 90% if not more. Anytime an all-star is traded, they're not going to get a all-star in return. And we can go through the list. I mean, that's just fact.
I'm just saying, I think the biggest thing for Simmons is age, mid-20s, contract, under contract for 4 years, all-star, all-defense. I mean,
is he playing right now? Has he reported yet? Does he want to be a Sixer? Is he going to come play with the Sixers? No.
Keep saying all that thing, but he's still a Sixer right now, currently. And the Sixers are calling him on his bluff.
Hey, they can sit there and call bluff all they want.
They're calling him on his bluff.
And Ben Simmons going to say, all right, man, who I got to talk to make sure I get paid this week? How many prices have
look, with the Blazers struggling the way that they're struggling right now, you don't know. Is it going to be CJ? Is it going to be Dame? Are they going to think about splitting that up? Maybe you go over to New Orleans and say, "Dang, New Orleans is 1-10. Maybe Brandon Ingram is possibly available. Wouldn't that look good next to Tobias Harris and all of them? I think that doesn't look that bad. You know what I mean? So there's trades that are out there.
New Orleans Pelicans. Wait, hold on. Think about what you just said right now, though. Understand what you're saying. Think about what you said. The New Orleans Pelicans, who are trying to keep Zion Williamson happy, are going to trade for a star who's unhappy in Philadelphia to get him how to play with Zion and say that's going to make the difference. There's no way that would happen.
DeMarcus Cousins going there with Anthony Davis. So
that was years ago.
What about a new coach, a new voice?
5 years ago.
They
that was
can both
5
shoot,
years
though.
ago.
They can both shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
That was 5 years ago.
What about a new coach and a new voice for the Kings?
They're not going to get rid of Luke Walton, not right now.
They can't. This is the thing with Walton, and I said it not that long ago. When the season started, or right before the season started, McNair came out and said that Luke is their guy. And with this being a key season for the Kings to find a way to at least be in that playoff hunt and have a legit chance to be. I think play in or bust for this season for Luke, but this Luke is going to have this season to prove to be the Kings' coach. I don't think the Kings are going to be moving on from him this year. Luke is the guy, and I think it's time for him to really evolve his offense, and defensively he can't be jeopardized by you can't sacrifice the offense and say, hey, start moving faster if it's going to affect your defense. And I think the defense was a big thing. But Javi, I think we're running super low on time now. I see producer Lee over there starting to cut some people. I'm sorry that I didn't get to talk to or comment with everybody else here
Nah,
in
I'm
the chat
cutting
like that,
people
man. But
because other people want to join.
okay. So I guess we're definitely not logging off then, bro. So that's
That's
good.
it.
That's good.
I'm ready.
I know. I stay ready, bro. But I get the Simmons thing, man. It's just hard. But what's going on, bro? Welcome to the show. What's your name?
It's Noah, man. What's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good. Hey, curious, because I'm late to the party. So I'm late to the party. What did they end up saying about Bagley refusing to go into the Suns game?
That he was
Essentially,
asked
no
to
comment.
play, and yeah, he didn't have a response. He just kind of kept it in regards to the future. But the report was he didn't want to enter the Suns game on Sunday, and he refused to check in. But Luke was very vague about it, but he didn't really mention anything in regards to denying it or saying that happened. He just kind of kept it perspective of tonight's game against the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, he
So what
said
do
he
you
came
do?
out.
You send him home?
Huh?
So what are you going to do? Send him home? I mean, as much as it sucks to say it, if he's going to refuse to go into the game, why even have him on the bench?
I mean, he's burning his own grave, though. He's burning his own
Exactly.
grave in the league. But it's not even with us, it's with the league, because who's going to want to give him any money and say, man, you first play for the Kings when they drafted you, they've done everything to support you, whether you've been happy with the franchise or not. They've been the only team that has, you never got suspended, you never been sent home, per se, never been held from a game check. We've never had a discussion of, we don't want you around. Yeah, there's been trade discussions when McNair got here, because McNair didn't draft you. Divock drafted you, and you're more or less a coach killer, whether he wants to or not. If he would have done what he's supposed to with Jaeger, he probably and they would have had a better relationship. Jaeger probably been the head coach here. He's a GM killer because he got fired because of his lack of production and his lack of overall growth, and got Divock fired. Like, he can sit there and say whatever
I
he
don't know
wants.
if that's
He got a
100%.
GM and hey, if Divock, listen, if Marvin Bagley was an All-Star by now, Vlade Divac would be the GM of the Sacramento Kings, and that's a fact. You can sit there and say,
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know
but
if that's true. No, that
you can't say it's purely on Bagley. I mean, Bagley did get hurt, but the
if Luka
Kings didn't
Doncic was the
produce
King,
either.
Vlade Divac would be a Sacramento King GM right now. Period. He made
Right,
the
but
wrong pick,
do
and
you
he knows
think
he made the wrong pick.
but let's put it this way then, right? Let's say Bagley didn't produce, but the Kings were able to make the playoffs after they win that bubble. But when they win the bubble and they win every single game,
They don't make the
and they make
playoffs
the
when Marvin
playoffs.
Bagley doesn't play well. They don't make the playoffs when Marvin Bagley play well. He's a second overall pick in
Bagley
a
wasn't
high.
Bagley wasn't even in the bubble and they had that chance. Bagley didn't play in a majority of those games when they had the
And they
chance to
didn't
be
make
in
the
the finals.
playoffs. If Marvin Bagley, a second overall pick, a high usage player in their plans, who didn't produce, actually did what they projected him to do, they do make the playoffs in the bubble, because what they projected him to do is something he didn't even come close to. If they had a Luka Doncic or something, a Trae Young, or whatever player they could have picked, they would have made the playoffs that year. They were in the bubble. But when your second overall pick doesn't contribute, that's the results you get.
Yeah, and to his point too, as much as Bagley, even if they would have gotten the playoffs in the bubble, Bagley wasn't there doing anything in the bubble anyways. They were going to get in despite having him there, which, as much as I hate to say that, Bagley, at this point, you're just kind of cutting loss, I think.
Bagley didn't even. If you guys want to revisit the history, Bagley didn't even go to the bubble because Bagley was hurt. He didn't even go down to that.
That's what I'm saying.
Miami. What I'm saying is,
had the chance.
No, they had the chance because of what they did in the prior spring. It wasn't because of what he did in the summer.
Bagley was injured through there too.
But again, understood. What I'm saying is, if Marvin Bagley played the potential that they deemed to see, he would have been the difference maker to get them into the postseason. Whether you say it wouldn't matter or not, it did matter because they were a piece away, a big away, most importantly, a player away from making a run into the top 10. And that was his role.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is you're calling him a killer of a GM and a coach. And what I'm saying is if that coach and that GM was able to get this team to the playoffs, whether Bagley was the pick or not, this Kings team broke that drought, they would still be here. I don't put all of
they
that
didn't.
on Bagley.
Well, they didn't. So it doesn't. They didn't break the
Right,
drought,
right.
and
But
Marvin Bagley's still in the Kings.
that's not going
And
to be on his head, though. Because you can say the same thing about Fox then, because Fox has
no,
been their
because
point
listen,
guard.
De'Aaron Fox ain't complaining about leaving. De'Aaron Fox is producing. De'Aaron Fox is our best player. De'Aaron Fox is a leader. De'Aaron Fox wants to be in Sacramento. Most importantly, De'Aaron Fox got hard, dog. Those are 6 things that you cannot say Marvin Bagley has any of, or does any of, or wants to be a part of. De'Aaron Fox is going to be the change in Sacramento to have us bring promise back to the city. Marvin Bagley wants nothing to do with this organization. There's no comparison to De'Aaron and Marvin Bagley, dog. De'Aaron Fox is the catalyst to have success here. Marvin Bagley is about Marvin Bagley. That's the difference. There's no like, oh, well, De'Aaron Fox. No, De'Aaron Fox is the only reason why we had a bright spot in regards to going to the 18 draft, because we had De'Aaron. We had a nice, supposed good draft in that 17 class with Harry Giles and Justin Jackson. And then we had Yeager, etc. We got Harrison Barnes, etc. De'Aaron Fox was the bright spot. Marvin Bagley was supposed to be that second piece. Marvin Bagley has lived to his end of the bargain. De'Aaron Fox has done everything and more to help this team be put in a position to make the playoffs. He can't do it by himself. He's not Stephen Curry, but he's a hell of a player. And I'm going to go hell and beyond for De'Aaron Fox and have his back to the end. Because I know when his game's on the line, he's going to give us everything he has. And I've seen it with his heart, with his motivation, once playing through any injury because he wants it, man. And he puts Sacramento on his back, dog. And that's right here. That comes from within inside, man. And I say that a lot in this show because Marvin Bagley don't got this right here. That comes from within inside. Effort and heart, dog. Marvin Bagley's for himself, and that's a problem.
I live here in Memphis, so I get to see the Grizzlies up close and personal all the time. So when we get to see Ja and Jaren and those guys running, if Marvin was half of what Jaren is actually able to put out when Jaren's actually healthy, the Sacramento goes to a whole other level. Because Jaren's playing that 4-5 range. They have that outside style game. De'Aaron are very similar players. Neither of them can hit free throws. They got broken jumpers, but they drive. They're athletic. They distribute. They're incredible in that regards. You put Marvin, even just anybody that can stretch it at the 4, because throwing Harkless out there every single night is just depressing. Every time I'm at work, I check the box score. The first half of the game, 0 for 4, 1 rebound, no points in like 18 minutes. He's killing me getting absolutely zero production from that spot.
Yeah, it's just a thing. What are your guys' thoughts on? I'm just trying to read the comments to see if there's any more questions. Is it true that Divock had some beef with Luka's dad?
Yes.
I don't really know much about that.
That's fact. That's fact. That's fiction. No one's really gonna ever know. I mean, there's speculation. That's really speculation.
There's been a lot. There's been stuff reported on it, but I couldn't.
I'm worried about right now on how to get us a player we need to help fix his defensive stalwart or defensive lack of there that we need to have on the defensive end floor right now. That's what I'm looking to find. The defensive stalwart to put in this roster right now in 2021, 2022. I'm not worried about 2017 more. 2018, that's over with. Can't keep looking back to the past.
The problem with Buddy is that he's taking too many bad shots and messes up the offensive flow, leads to offensive breaks for scores to the defense. Halliburton makes the offense flow much better. Javi, you 100%. No doubt Metu or Bagley are better than Harkless. Everyone knows that. Fox ain't from Sac. He's Sac proud, and he's Sac proud. Hey, bro, there you go. There you go. Cisco right there with you, bro. He believes it. He says that heart is real. But those are all the questions, man. I appreciate you calling in, brother. I really do. Last thing before I let you guys go on Bagley, since you guys like talking about him so much here on this show, and he's just been such an issue. What are you guys' thoughts on, or Javi, what are your thoughts on this last one here of sending him just to the G League? You know, if he doesn't want to play, send him down to the G League and bring in Louis King, bring in that wing, bring in someone else that can try and shoot the ball for this team.
You think Ben Simmons is holding out? You send him to the G League, he's just like, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. I'm just gonna sit at home. I don't even care about. There's no way he's finna do that. If he go play an NBA game, there ain't no way in the world he's finna go play in the G League. He'll have to freeze over before he went to go play in a G League game, dog. I understand what you're saying, but Marvin Bagley is too prideful, and his dad is worse than him. You feel me? Like I get what you're saying. I want to have Louis King.
G League, you can get Louis King. You can send him home. I know, but send him to the G League. Louis King can take that spot.
Yeah, hey, I'll do it. But again, he's not going to play for the G League team. He won't play for the Stockton Kings.
Practice.
I'll let it see. You're right. You're right. The reason why I have an issue with Marvin is because I have some intel in the in the Kings brass that have said to me repeatedly that Marvin Bagley gets an extra work before the game, before they even warm up, before the pre-warm up with Doug Christie, night in and night out. So I'm trying to figure out. So you do this extra work with Christie, but you don't want to enter the game? Like my sources weren't incorrect because they actually filmed pieces of his warm up with Christie before any other King took the floor to warm up, pre-warm up. It was even not before the warm up. It was pre-warm up, warm up. If that even makes sense. He was getting in way extra time and more than enough sequences with Christie when they played on Friday when they beat, or they didn't beat, they lost that 3-point game to they lost a three on Friday, remember? They lost to Phoenix.
Pacers.
They lost to the Pacers by 3 on Friday. Yes, I had some intel. They played the Pacers on Friday. They lost. But they said that Marvin Bagley, they had on film, videotape, him getting work with Doug Christie, like 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe even before that. And it's like, wait a second. You're doing that with Doug Christie, but you don't want to take your chance and enter the game to show you're worthy of getting minutes? I'm
He
just
still has to show
confused.
up
I'm
to work.
puzzled.
It's just his job. It's still his
No, but
job.
he
He still
doesn't
has
have.
to show up to work.
Yeah, but you don't have to show up extra early. You show up when they tell you to come and report and warm up with the team and then go sit on the bench if you just are going to get a check. But to get an extra work because you want to try and get better, but they don't want to play in the game, it's very conflicting. Maybe you feel otherwise, but I don't understand that logic. If I'm going to put extra work because I want to play.
Everything that I've heard about Bagley is a lot of it is, I mean, him not wanting to go in when it's a blowout game. Obviously, it sucks to hear that's his mentality, but it doesn't necessarily affect the King. In the same exact video that you see with Sean Cunningham, it was Rashawn Holmes over there touching him on his shoulder. His teammates were still talking to him. Everyone that I've talked to that goes to the practices and sees that Bagley still works hard. Like you said, he's not being a true distraction other than the fact that everyone on social media is saying, where is Bagley? Kings fans are chanting, we want Bagley. But he's saying no. Luke Walton comes out today and says, me and him are talking. We're in communication every day, and we're gonna take it day by day. I mean, there's not much more you can do when he doesn't want to play. If he doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play. But at least he's not being a distraction at practices. And if he doesn't want to play, there's minutes for Metu now. And if you really need a guy like Lewis King, who I believe should get at least a shot just because how well he played during Summer League, and the Kings obviously need some type of ball handler or some type of shooter, I would consider it. I mean, guys have went to Serge Ibaka's in the G League right now. He asked to go there because he wanted to continue to develop and get his conditioning in. It's not the worst idea in the world. You know what I mean? So I just find it, I think it's more speaking to the professionalism of Bagley behind the scenes of him still coming into work, still working hard, and just waiting for the opportunity on a new team. He feels insulted that he doesn't get minutes. Okay, you know what? Obviously, I don't think that ever should have came public, especially from his agent. But he's not being a true distraction, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. I completely understand. In some instances, I agree with that. But again, I just see it as if he's not doing anything in regards to, promoting himself to benefit by potentially getting a contract in the offseason. But Lewis King has played well and more than adequate in the G League, so I do believe he needs an opportunity to come up here and play with us as a backup 2-3 and a ball handler, a playmaker. Most importantly, just somebody who can spell the 3 and even kick Harrison to the 4 and go small per se with the second unit. But again, we'll continue to unravel and digest. Most importantly, break any important information regarding the Marvin Bagley situation because I feel like it's day to day, hour to hour with the Kings. But hey, as long as we can keep what we have intact right now with the core and stay around 500, somebody's going to budge and help us make that transaction to put this transition of creating a defensive presence on this roster to put his position to get in the top 8. That's my belief. Because Monty McNair knows what he's doing. He might not have all the equity, but he's going to find a way to make a move. He's made moves now. And he's found a way to keep us competitive in times when people say this roster is the worst in the league. And that's not true. Or maybe there's all overachieving. But at the end of the day, I believe what McNair is doing to a certain extent. More times than I believed in Divock. And I love Divock as my center, but not as my general manager.
Yeah, I think these next 3 games are definitely going to I think these next 3 games are key for the Kings. But that's going to be our time, man. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad that more people called in. We got to see all those. Javi, I'm glad you stepped in with me, man. This was fun doing this the other day by myself, but it's always more fun when you have someone that you can communicate with and talk to on the back and forth. But before I let you go, bro, let the fans out there know where they can find you online.
Oh, yeah, my Instagram is Javier Real200, JAVIERREAL 200, and also on the Cowbell Kingdom Instagram page you can find me tagged on Leo's post with my fellow brother Vince, E-Man, Ty, everybody else. But most importantly, understand my fans, everybody out there, for my Cowbell Kingdom fans, Basketball Zone fans. My apologies earlier, I was having some technical difficulties, but make sure you understand my man Vince held it down for the previous post game 2 days ago, and look forward to our 3-game road trip with our post game shows coming up. But hey, Kings fans, just understand this. Kings fans, Basketball Zone fans, Cowbell Kingdom fans, just appreciate that we have basketball now in a world where there are fans in the arena again. I hope you guys appreciate that, man, because remember a year and a half ago or so, we were even wondering if we're going to have basketball again. I just hope, I'm just appreciating the fact I can watch basketball now on my television and see the fans there enjoying the game while I get to enjoy it myself and cover the team I love. Just make sure you put that in perspective before we go upset, to our room or wherever it may be in regards to ending your night. Because remember, a year ago or so, we wouldn't even have the opportunity to watch this. And I appreciate, and I have a lot of thanks for the NBA having their things in order and in line and having the Kings be able to play in front of fans again in Sacramento on the road respectively.
There you guys go. Make sure you guys go follow Javi on that Instagram. I've been your host today. My name is Vince Miracle. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms of @VMCenter. Please, guys, help this video keep circulating. We want to keep the conversation going as much as possible. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of our newest videos, and make sure you hit that bell so you get it right when it gets posted. Again, guys, follow @Cowbell_Kingdom on all social media platforms. Shout out to our sponsors, Medici Sacramento and Valley Tires, the best tires out here in the Sacramento area. And until next time, Sacramento Kings fans, peace.
Go Kings.